Welcome to the M26 Fit podcast. I'm your host, Magnus Olsen. Our next guest is one of the most unique blokes I've ever met. Ray Carson's ex-military, a former armoured paramedic, firefighter and mines rescue specialist. He's been in war zones and led rescue missions in some of the most isolated places on the planet. Today, he's the founder of Experiences, right here on the Sunshine Coast, one of Australia's leading adventure and team-building facilities, helping people discover strength they didn't even know they had. Welcome to the podcast, mate.
How's it going, buddy? Welcome to Chaos HQ.
Oh yeah, mate. It's a pretty epic place that you've got here. I'm impressed.
It's pretty good considering it's basically made out of 1 acre of bushland, but it's what we put into it. Not just physically, but with our heart and soul and what we built it into being here. People walk it in and walk out differently.
Yeah, you'll put a bit of B-roll up during the episode because I think it's a fantastic place. Now, you've had a pretty amazing career when I look back and those things I mentioned in the intro.
Yeah.
You able to share a moment or time? Was there anything in particular that really, from your military career, that had a significant impact on who you are today?
I think basically like the military is designed as virtually like a sausage machine. You go into that and you come out as that. I was lucky enough when I went in, I'd already been out of home for about 6-7 years, already been working, doing stuff. I wasn't really that young even though I was young. But the military allows you to grow and become who you are, but it also creates what they need as a soldier. And you can use elements of that throughout your whole life. And it's like, big one for me was ethics, integrity, mindset, and the physical capability to just do stuff which you think is impossible. And like never say no, never say stop. But I think the biggest one is in the mindset of a legitimate soldier of being going, yeah, that's impossible. No, it's not. We can do that. We can make that happen. We can finish that. I can finish that, or we can finish that. I think that's what I got out of it the most was the mindset of no matter how bad things or long things they seem to be or appear to be, afterwards is going to be good and you can't push through it. You know, and I push through a shit a lot.
No, too much there. You must have seen a few things that you haven't, that would you rather unsee?
Most, like my military time was unfortunately limited because of a medical situation I had. I ended up getting medical discharge with a heart condition. So I ended up in a heart surgery. But I still managed to do a lot of stuff post-military in and around the world. And the other day someone was telling me they're doing one of those mushroom experiences and they're bringing back all of them. And I'm sitting there going, I don't think I want to bring back some of my memories because I spent a lot of time overseas, like nearly 6 years in Africa. And I went there because at the time when I did research, it's the most dangerous place on the planet. I went, let's go. What do you got? And while at the time it was good and it was fun and it was right, and I was using all my skills and doing really cool stuff, I look back sometimes and sometimes things pop up like, oh, that reminds me of that time, blah, blah, and people go, what stuff? Oh, that time we had those stuff, you know, like human heads or whatever. It was like, you did what? I went, yeah, it's pretty wild. But anyway, what are we doing today? You know? But it's just the experiences you get out of it for that, the fact that I went out looking for that as well. Now, after.
You've had to transform yourself and into various different roles. What was the trigger to go from soldier to paramedic and then onto being a firefighter?
Well, basically, obviously, I wanted to be a soldier for life. Unfortunately, that didn't turn out because of the medical situation. But you still need, or I still need, is like my family, so to speak, my place, my I don't know, whatever you call it, my place to be part of something. And you don't realize you look back as like, you like to help, you like to give, you want to help people. Whether you're a soldier, I was a paramedic here in Australia and in Africa. I was a firefighter, went world rescue titles a couple of times, some really cool stuff. But it's all about, you don't realize it's giving. And when people say that, I was saying the gift is in the giving, when you really give for the right reason, what you get back is tenfold. You know, like, whether it's giving stuff at work here or saving someone's life, you're giving and you're giving from yourself, but you do get back and you get back phenomenally. You know, people, if more people knew that, then I think the world would be a better place rather than take. But
so did you have to make any adjustments in your identity, like going from that soldier and then going to a paramedic? And you mentioned that you had that heart condition. Was that a difficult time for you?
Yeah, because I've always lived on, like, I've always relied on my fitness and my strength and my aura. And when you have heart surgery, that freaking, it's like being hit by a truck. They virtually chop you in half, take your heart out, chop it up, put it back together, and close it up. And that, I think it was the first time in my life when I physically couldn't do stuff that I wanted to do for that period of time. But I just pushed through and got fitter and got stronger and got back exceptionally well, like really quickly well, just because I had the mindset of like, nah. And I think part of the mindset is from the military, no matter what's happening, what's going on, if you've got the right mindset, that will get you through anything. And I've used that my whole life, and whether it's trauma, and I've had way too much trauma and medical, knowing that, yeah, it's really bad now and it's horrible, but it's going to be better. No matter how bad things are, this guy, it's actually going to be better. So it does. To me, the mindset. And I've been in, like when I had cancer, I remember sitting there and I looked like Freddy Krueger, burned, skinny, addicted to fentanyl, virtually dying. And there's people dying all around me with cancer. And I remember,
How long ago was that?
I just got the magical 5-year mark about a month ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that is, yeah. And I remember looking in the mirror and I look like shit. Like I was burned from the radiation, addicted to fentanyl, skinny. Like I lost 37 kilos in like 2 months. I remember looking at myself and just going, you are not fucking dying to look like that. There's no way you're going to be remembered for, yeah, Ray died of cancer. I want to go on impact, in an explosion, in a gunfight, something spectacular, or in my sleep, but not cancer. And that's what I remember going, right, it's just get through this. And it does. It's a battle within, physically and mentally. I mean, there's not, when you finish the treatment I had, is a pretty treatment plan, there's nothing left physically, nothing. I mean, I was in a wheelchair wearing nappies, addicted to fentanyl, and I'd lost 37 kilos. But I still was going, nah, but I'm still going to get through this. I'm still going to get it and get on, and you're not going to be dying of this shit. It's not a good journey on it.
Right, now I want to talk about pressure. So I know that through your career, you've obviously been in very high pressure situations, and then a part of the experience here of some of the boot camp. Yep. You get 2 people and put them both under the same pressure. One person rises to the occasion and the other person fails. What single attribute do you think that one person possesses?
Once again, the physical aspect of it, being fit, strong, is a good thing to have. But the mental side, I've seen people that look a lot weaker than other people rise to the top and smash things because of their mental attributes, the mental strength. If anything, you could, like, if you could have a workout every day for mental strength, I'll definitely advise doing it. I don't know what that is. Mine comes on, I think, that I've been through so much challenges in my life, both you nugget life. I've had since like young, everything from leaving home really young, my working life, everything has been challenge to challenge to challenge. But I look at them now. Yes, it's a bad thing as a challenge, but after it, I'm going to learn from it, be better. I'm going to get something positive out of that challenge. Even with cancer, yeah, I've got cancer, which kind of sucks, and I didn't want it, and I don't know why I got it. But I'm going to learn from it and get stronger and understand more other people have got it, and learn from it. Everything's going to be, yeah, that's a bad thing. And I remember what I said to the doc when he said, when they bought us, they bring in as a family. I went, I know what's coming. And they go, oh yeah, it's positive, you've got cancer. I remember I was just went, let's swear. Thanks for. And the doctor went, I beg your pardon? I said, it's not him. It's not him. It's not my daughter. It's not my missus. If they've got it, I can't give them my strength. I can't go through it with them. They said, oh, I'll go through it with you, but you can't. But I went, at least I know I can take the hit and go through it. But I don't know how I'll deal with watching my kid or my partner go through that shit. That'll be just like, what can you do? Support them. But physically, I went, right, I'm up. Let's get it done. And got it done, obviously. And then on that note, my partner, I look back, didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a single session. Didn't miss a beat. She was freaking, by the time we finished, she was changing my freaking nappy to mate. I mean, that's a freaking strong woman, eh?
Yeah.
You might keep her.
Fair enough. So I talk a lot about strength, physical strength, mental strength, and spiritual strength. How would you define those, and which one means the most for you?
Physical strength is obviously good to get stuff done and your daily life. And I use mine here, even though, I mean, I know what it's like to have no strength. When I finished a cancer treatment, the first thing you lose is all your muscle. And I mean, all your muscle. I was doing 225 kilo deadlifts between brain aneurysm and cancer. I was at an aneurysm before the cancer. And then after the cancer treatment, my practice was trying to walk up and down the driveway. So the mental aspect of mental strength, if you could do courses or modules or something on that and common sense together, you'd kill it, because we need a lot more common sense in the world and mental strength. Because what I've noticed over the years, the amount of people that you come across now, mental strength is, it's like you want what? Sorry, you want a day off because you're feeling overwhelmed. For what? And it does my head in. It is, and unfortunately, it's a new world and the way they are. But it's like, You need to like a little more common sense and how. Man, I tell them, and I get students here, and I'm straight up with them, and I straight up with their parents and school, and go, yeah, we like that about you. It's on the verge of a little bit too much, but it's good that you don't take any of it. You tell them what it is. But when everyone that's come here has left their better and learn from it, and it is, and the thing is, I don't go there and tell them, I get and do it. I'm in there digging the holes with them, cutting the timber, building the stuff. I'm not like bossing people around. I'm in there doing it, and I'm usually 4 times their age. Yes, I tell them, guys, I'm 4 times their age, going over this, this. So maybe you should pick the pace up a bit. And they're like, okay, all they got.
So do you reckon when you went through cancer recently, 5 years ago, was that the time you had to dig the deepest, do you think, into your mental strength out of all your different experience?
I think that was a lot harder at the time because it wasn't just me. Over I was physically going through it. I was looking at my kids and my family. I'm going, I've got so much to give you and so much to share. And if I die, first of all, what's going to happen to you? But how am I going to give that to you? And are you going to know me? Because they're quite young. Most likely quite young, even though I'm an old bastard. But I'm like, and that was the key was, I know I need to live. I need to stay here. I've got so much to give. And not for me, but I want to give to them and teach them and show them and share them and ethics and integrity and things about the world and themselves. And I mean, they're already into fitness, already doing gymnastics and swimming already, and they're bloody good at it. I think that you got no idea how that's going to help you apart. No, so yeah, definitely that.
You mentioned you spent a bit of time in Africa, and that was a pretty dangerous place. Can you share a story from one of your experiences over in Africa?
Well, the reason I went there, like after the army, I got out early. Like I didn't want to get out. It was like army career's over. Like so I got back into hunting. I was hunting. I was sea kayaking from Council to Cairns, doing like 200-kilometer paddles, hunting on my own for days at a time with knives and pigs, just because I was looking for. I still needed that rush. And then I went to Africa with a mine company originally for the world rescue titles on vertical rescue and road accident rescue. And we went across there as the Australian team. Went to Scotland the year before, won the world title, then won the Australian title again, then won the world title again in Africa. And when I was in Africa, I went for a ride along with the paramedics. And Africa, Joburg's a pretty interesting place. It's like Gotham City, but there's no freaking Batman. And that kabang is all real. It's like the murder capital of the world. It's insane, the level of work that's there. And I came back, and I was back in Townsville, and I was like, yeah, hunting's good, this is good, but I needed something more. And I rang the paramedics and went, hey, what's the chance? I go, yeah, mate, come for a ride along. I mean, like a long one, so long as you want. And I ended up lining up a job in the Middle East as a combat medic. But they said I needed more experience on shootings. And I said to the guys in Joburg, can I do shootings? They're in, mate, you got no idea what's up. And I got picked up at the airport and went straight into a shootout of the bank robbery. I went, well, guess I've arrived. And then I ended up joining the fire department there as a firefighter. And then I was a paramedic there as well. And I was working with there you've got many different options, but I work with provincial service, with the government service. That where you go to the spotter camps in Diepsloot and Zevenfontein and to Soweto and all the really good places for a paramedic. But then you also get to work at the private companies. There you get to the top-end hospitals, the cars that work, the helicopters. There's all the stuff in the provincial service it shares. I mean, I go out in an ambulance, I call them the noddy van, because there was nothing in it. I used to pick people off the side of the road in all different conditions, just throw them in the back like a meat wagon and take them to the hospital because there was nothing in there. The workload was insane, but you still got to do some really sort of stuff as a medic. You're doing stuff you're not even qualified to do, it's just there,
Crazy time. So when you're out doing your hunting, I know you're a real fan of nature. What do you reckon some of the lessons that you've learned on nature, and what does nature can teach you?
Well, to me, we used to be part of nature. You can learn how nature works. Humanity doesn't. Nature doesn't go to war. We go to freaking war with wars, killing each other for the stuff in our head or money or something we want. Nature doesn't go to war. Nature's there for a reason, and it works like this. We don't work like that. What I learned from that, and what I found, when I'd go out bush or spend time in nature, I'd go and spend 2 days in nature just on my own out bush, and I'd come back, and it seriously feels like you're being plugged into something. And you come back, you're switched on, you're awake, you're aware, you're full of energy. It's like, oh my God. But everyone wants that in a can or a tablet or something else. It's there. Just spending the time in there is what it does. And I still do it to this day. I need and want my time in nature. I went down to Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, got a job. I went and got out. As I'm leaving the Gold Coast at night, I'm going, you got to be kidding me. You live in that. And there's so much is just for your brain to try and compute, like signs, there's just too much. We come out here and it's like, oh, right. This morning I had a group here and there's the 3-meter python. I go, guys, you didn't see a python? Pick the python, move around, move over. Religion walks past, python here. They had a 4-meter one the other day. There's a coajong stealing my food. I mean, seriously, that is worth more than anything. And my kids do it, and the people that come here enjoy it.
I did. It's awesome. I know that you homeschool your kids, and having them growing up in this environment is 100% absolutely awesome.
Absolutely. And they spend their days here. And some people question homeschooling sometimes, just to touch on that. But I watch my boy over here on the weekend. He's 7 years old. He'll do the till. He'll run the till. Multiple people, different numbers, different, all in his head, does it all. I do a year 12 class, and I'll say, what's 4 times 65? No, don't touch your phone, mate. They can't do it. And he's doing it, signing people in, signing people out, doing all the maths, cashing up at 7 years old, speaks 2 fluent languages, does a bunch of gymnastics, and he runs around in here like with all the adults, and they're like, that's not normal being that age. But I think, yeah, all this working. We're doing something right, you know?
So what are some of the experiences? So you said you had a group in here this morning. I know you've had top line footy teams.
Yep.
You've had the armed forces that come out here. You do boot camps. Just describe some of those experiences for our viewers.
Well, basically, you got the elements of what we do. On one side of it, we do like a kids party on the weekend. And last weekend, we did, I think, 7 kids parties. Everyone, what I get out of it,
gel ball.
They're doing gel ball, and the one's doing a raft building challenge. And what I see is when I stand back and I see mum and dad and a whole bunch of family and kids having fun. Dad's in there playing with them. Kids are doing it and having a great time just in the forest. And when they come up after and shake my hand and thank me for that, that's why I do it. And the fact that I can look at dad is playing with his son. Dad is playing with his son's mates. The kids are playing together. They're getting dirty and running around and playing with other. I look at that and I go, that's that. I want to do the corporate side. It's the same. And like you're saying, I've had the Australian Defence Force come here. 4 days, 3 nights, no food, one ration pack, no sleep. Okay, I slept there. I wouldn't go do no. I don't want to feel I'm not doing that no sleep and stuff. But we can do one day a kids party. The next day we're doing Australian Defence Force. Then I might be doing Dr. Joe Dispenza of 1,200 people or a top-end corporate on a multi-day program. No matter what it is, we ensure what we deliver is the same quality and everyone walks away with it. And I look at it and go, as long as they walk away and they're happy and they've got what they want out, whether the experiences, get the experience out of it, whether it's a day in the focus. Some people don't go outside. Some people live on their computers, their screens, their homes, and that one day a year they come and spend that here. I want to make sure that one day is special to them. And then they get annoyed. I might not do this every day. I'll come here my days off. Yeah, so it's good.
So what you can do with the armed forces, 4 days, no sleep, no food, or some of the activities that they get to do.
Well, what they did, they were here and it was like what you call a junior NCO leadership program. Like it's getting the junior people starting to come up and okay, we might promote you, you're going to be a leader. So their activities range from, what's that?
More of a test, is it?
Yeah, so it's like a test, but it's also like seeing who they are, what they're about, and to find out who someone is. We used to call it peel back the onion layers. Everyone can walk up, beating their chest, and okay, we're going to remove your shit. We're going to take your food off you. We're going to wear you out and give you some really extremely hard mental tasks or menial tasks that are like, why am I doing this shit? But you've got to keep going. And once you take away the food and the sleep, the real people come out. And those guys were doing everything from, like, I think on the third night, the last night, we took them out at about 2:30 in the morning to a local gym. And they had 4 world champions there. And they did a 1.5 hour circuit. So they were there for like 6 hours. And it was like boxing, sparring, grappling, ninjutsu, and bag work and circuit. And by then they'd already had no sleep, but that's what they're gonna do. But then they'd be out making a raft and going around Old Woman Island. They had one where when there was nothing to do, they had to make rope. And it was just a stick on a certain plant and he's beating it all day and all night. With nothing to do but make rope. Or for extra points, then they were doing chin-ups and burpees for extra points, and you can trade them later on for having the lifesavers, somebody manual.
And you've got like a 9-meter platform here as well that you do different games and rescues out of as well. But
yeah, and we built that. For, I mentioned it before, there was a group called Dr. Joe Dispenza, and they wanted, he's got a whole mindset and motivation program he runs, extremely popular around the world. And what an element he does is test people with their fear. And everyone's got fear for height. If you haven't, there's something wrong with the brain. you know. So we built a tower, and on that tower we got right here is a zip line. Got a zip line, climbing wall, military fast ropes, and some big ladders you got to climb up. I mean, some people just get up and down the ladders enough for that. But other people want to jump out on a harness. So we built that for that purpose. And now we use that for other programs. Right.
It's pretty fit. Right, but back on to fitness. What is fitness? What does that mean for you? If you want to be fit, how would you describe that?
You want to be fit, and you got to be fit for the right reason. You know, you got a purpose, or you're playing a sport, or just being fit and healthy. And I've always been fit and healthy despite my medical and challenge I've been through my life. But in me, it's on par with having a good, strong mindset, good, physically fit and healthy. Combine, you get those two right, and I look at when I had the stuff I've been through between the cancer and the aneurysm and heart disease, all sorts of stuff. If I was not physically fit and mentally strong before that, those challenges would be so much. I remember going into the cancer room and I'm looking around and going, these are not my people. These are not my people. All these people look sick before they start. They thought, I went down to Brisbane for a seminar. I walked in and sat down and they're going, are you the physio? No, he's coming in. Oh, you're the physio. I'm not the physio. You're the PT. I'm not the PT, man. I'm here for cancer. And they're like, no, you're not. And even the people in the room said, what are you doing? I said, that's my thought exactly. What am I doing here? This is not my world. But the physical fitness side I've had my whole life and the mental side my whole life, 100% got me through that. That's right. Because it is, you get to a point where there's nothing left except your head. And knowing, yes, that's hard now and I can't walk. I couldn't walk down my driveway, but I know what I'm capable of after that. And it comes back. The muscle memory comes back and you know, yeah, it's going to hurt, but I won't remember next week and I'll be better. So it's why it's so important.
Yeah. I'm curious. So back onto those activities that you do with the defence and what you do with some of the footy teams.
Yeah.
Part of that was actually making people go into uncomfortable situations. You know, they don't have the food, they don't have the sleep. You mentioned the onion layers as an example. Have you seen some people that have actually come out of that experience changed and different in a positive way?
Yes, even in a short term, like we had one particular group and it was out in the middle of 12,000 acres, simulated plane crash. And the boss really wanted to test and look into who these people are because they all work remotely. So this was a corporate group, So we set them up, but we set them up so we dropped them off at the plane with instructions. We weren't there, but we were there. We were just sitting back watching. And we were watching how this team evolved and what they're going to do, what the plan was and what it was. And you see some people like, hey, I remember seeing this on TV and let's try this and this. And they come up with a plan. But there's also other people. One particular guy found our cache of water and put in the back of the plane and cached it for himself. I'm like, we were watching it going, hey, you can't take this guy out. Like, seriously? What are you? And he would go back and get a drink of water and come back. Oh yeah, we got to get water. And we're going, you found the water and you'll keep it. Whoa. And then on that particular group, the objective was film the first part of it, and then we come out and do activities, teach them how to make fire, make rope, make shelter. But that night, they watched the video on screen. And we had to say, guys, just so you know, we were asked, blah, 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 by your organisation to film everything today. And we filmed everything today from the moment you got in the car. And you see that guy's face like, everything, like, yeah. And we just showed the video and that's talk about. And it got pretty heated. You know, but you'll see other people. I've seen people, young people in the organisation, come in to start and they go, I'll put him in charge as a junior. Then it's like, go, hang on a sec, he's actually pretty good. And I remember that one particular kid, I can't remember who company it was. He was then given an opportunity in the company to further himself because he had skills that he didn't have an opportunity to portray at work because, that's the boss. You can do as I'm told. Come in and empty the bin, do this and this. All of a sudden, the roles were reversed, and they're like, he's actually pretty switched on. Let's try and put him on that course and that course. And we got feedback later saying, hey, that brought out things of that young man that we didn't know he had. But now we're utilising them and furthering his career. And just by putting him in the situation, who's a simulated plane crash, it's fun, but you learn real skills, but it does test you and brings that out.
So that's interesting. So when you've got that group, you've got guys that are part of the leadership, I guess, of the organisation, and then all the way down to some of the potentially the blue collar guys within that organisation. Yeah. And you're able to pick, like within the first hour or two, you're able to see, like, this bloke's got leadership skills, this bloke's got leadership skills, and potentially some of the leaders in the organisation don't really have that true attribute.
They got a position, but they haven't got those attributes. So what we do, we know who the leaders are, and we make sure the people that are the leaders or usually take over in the plane crash, they get knocked out. You're unconscious, mate. You got no say what happens next, and that gives us a chance for other people to step up and go, oh, well, I reckon we should try this or this, and it works. And that's why I was just saying before, that young kid that actually got an opportunity because he was given an opportunity to work outside his normal little, okay, you're the boss, you're not the boss, you do this, and I'm going to tell you what to do. And I goes, yeah, boss. But you got to change that around. You got to mix that up. And that's when it comes out. Those people, I've had young kids here. You know, I'm the boss, yes, but I'll be the first one digging a hole. I'll be the first one cleaning the bins. I'll be the first one out here doing stuff. But that's me. You know, I just love doing that. But I like to see the guys come up with that and give them an opportunity. If I can give a kid an opportunity to grow and learn something about himself or ethics or integrity or whatever, I'm winning.
Okay. And team building. I know that when you've had footy teams out here, that's none of our activities that you make them build a raft.
Yep.
What are some of the things that go into that, and what's the main reason for doing those type of activities? What's it bring out in players?
What it does, you'll see the team, like they know in their team, they know who's who. You're the boss, you're the captain, you're the vice captain. I do what I say. You do what you tell me what to do, and I do this and this. But then in those situations, all that gets reversed and turned around. And you'll see people that don't usually do that position have got that position, and there might be he used to do roping when he was a kid on a farm. All of a sudden he goes, hey, you know how to do roping? Yeah, I done lots of roping, and skills come up. Or they might know how to paddle, or they might not know how to swim. They suddenly realise a footy player had one couldn't swim, and I think he was an AFL player or a rugby player, couldn't swim. And we're like, but his teammates, no, we've got you. Life jacket, spare life jacket, you two look after him. And they stepped up to do it. But if you do everything else, you can grade them on the field.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. So what would you say, what's your mission behind Experience? What do you hope to people take back into their lives after they've come and done one of the events with you?
The main thing is I like when I see, like I was saying before, they walk out and show me hand, thank you for a great time. And they're like, just in the forest. You're just in the forest here doing it. You to get out of the you're doing this, but you've managed to bring my team together for the day. They've had fun time. They learned some really cool skills. They started a fire with a flint and made some rope and built a raft. And I look at that, and people, they don't realize, sometimes they don't realize what they've learned about their teammates and the fact that they can do more and more. Other people come and say, hey, where can I buy a bow from? Well, can I do this on the weekend? Hey, can I bring my kids here? Because they get so much out of it, because it's real stuff. Nowadays, everyone wants a quick fix, a quick thing, a little, I don't know what they call it, something basically 90 retard. But basically, I use my phone for work and that obviously, but you'll see everyone wants this and this and this. But then when they realize they can get something out of that and out of that, that's going to last a lot longer, it's not going to be a quick meme or whatever you call them, they actually like it. They actually like it and they enjoy it. And I'll look at that and go, yep, that is real. That's actually real. Right?
Mate, fantastic. Let's rip into the quickfire questions. You ready?
Yep.
What's one daily habit that served you the most?
That served me the most? Waking up, and whether no matter how bad the day is, what's going on, be positive. If you could get a positive, I don't know, a pill or something and throw it into the world, it definitely needs it. No matter how bad a day is, I know what a bad day is when you think you're freaking dying of cancer. And then no matter how the day bad, they go, yeah, it's really bad, it's not going to work out, but guess what? I haven't got cancer. So let's make it happen. That's a problem, but let's straight away, let's get a solution. Positive, be good. Everyone says to me, how do you be so freaking positive all the time? I went, well, I've got no choice, mate. I want to be positive because I hate negative. I hate it. If someone starts talking, they'll be like, no, put a positive spin on it. Your house is on fire. You get a new house. Excellent. That's a good spin. And they're like, oh my God, lose my house, I'll lose everything. No, you're going to get a new house. Business insured. Excellent. And put a positive spin on that,
I love it. So in the military, strength can be about survival. In business, strength is about resilience. How do you personally measure strength today?
I think a lot of mine, obviously, my physical strength isn't what it used to be, but I'm still able to do a lot of what I can, a lot I want to do. I mean, I'm slowly getting back into lifting weights and doing because it's freaking good for you. But I reckon once again, positive. It's like I can't emphasize enough how a positive mindset can go through everything. Your physical stuff, your mindset, your business plans. What is like, yeah, that's bad, but hey, that's going to be better. If people knew some of the challenges I'm dealing with all the time that I've been through, they'd be like, how's it going? I said, no, because that's just one aspect of it. There's good positive stuff to it. And that's bad, but I can turn that and twist it and poke it and it'll be positive.
That's all the time. Where's your favorite place to go for where you're feeling wellness in nature?
Anywhere in nature, but actually what I've built here, to be honest, this is 1 acre of bush at the back of a resort. It was used as a dumping site for 25 years. People leave here or coming, I'm like, God, this place, it's got a heart. You can feel what's been put into it. I mean, this is built with my hands. And I built this, just so you know, I started building this shortly after a brain aneurysm. And I was about 75% blind. And believe me, aneurysms are an horrible thing to have. I built all that over that first 2 years, and I'm still building it every day, and then roll straight into cancer. But the fact that I've actually physically built it and it works. People come here. On last weekend, we had only 100 people here. And they come here, take time out of their day to come here and pay to come here to have fun, and they come back and they come back and they come back. I think I've definitely built something. And when I had cancer, I would come here on my days off and sit in the forest and just sit here and go. And people go, "Well, what are you going to bed?" I went, I don't like being in bed. I don't sit down a lot. I don't stop a lot, ever. But why would I want to lay in bed? Yes, I feel horrible. I've got cancer and I've got addicted to fentanyl and I'm burned that, but this is nice. This makes it better than sitting at home or in hospital. And I hate doing that.
So if somebody walked in here broken mentally and physically and spiritually, what's the first thing that you'd teach them?
I said, not so much teaching, but as an example, I've had quite a few blokes come here. And I remember, without mentioning names, there was one guy and he walked in down that path. I looked up and looked back and I went, oh, you're not good. And I could see, looking at this guy from 50 meters away, that it was not in a good place. And straight away, it was like, okay, what do you got? And he was just dropping in. He was a veteran. Veterans just dropping, oh, you might have some work here. Yeah, mate, cool. What do you got? Where did you serve? Turns out he served in the same year as my brother. Had a connection. Straight away, he had a connection. Oh, you're in 6. Oh, yeah. My brother was in that before your time was there. Chatting away. And I remember saying to him, I said, hey, buddy, I've got a group this afternoon. I've got no staff, short order group. It's on the range. I'm half blind. I don't like going there because I get shot all the time. I walk into the fire. I'm constantly plugged in this stuff, not good. How do you feel about running a range practice and doing some work today? I said, like a normal thing, you give a great safety brief, you do the whole stuff. Safety shit, you're going to get shot, but you're not going to die. And he's like, I do have a go. From that day, that guy ended up living here for over a year. From the day he got his day he left, 2 different human beings, like 2 different men. He actually gave me a letter, and I remember reading the letter and going, my kids are going to read that letter. I'm going to make sure my kids get to read that letter, because at no time did I want anything out of it. But I remember I said to him, I said, you got to remember, Lex, I'm getting as much out of this as you. He goes, that doesn't make any sense. No, and he came here, spent a lot of time here, worked here. From the first day to his last day, he ran Dr. Go to spend 1,200 people for him. He ran the whole thing, trained the staff. And I'm going, that's the guy, that's you. And I said, one day you'll fully understand why I get so much out of it. He ended up going overseas, similar to my sabbatical to Africa. He did one to Norway. And he did a thing with a bunch of blokes, and he got to me, he goes, I get it. I finally get it. Because they hear the same bit from those blokes. And the fact that I've done it through that system and has been passed on, that's worth more money in the world. Now that's gold.
What's the scariest moment you had in your military career?
I think the scariest in the military, when they started to say I was going to be medically discharged. Nothing. I used to always, I'm a person that faced my fears. Like, I was scared of heights, so I got a job as a rigger. And I got lied to get the job, walked out the boss and, hey, boss, we call mate, just so you know, I never done this shit in my life before. Shit scared of heights. He's like, what? And I want to overcome my fears. You went, oh, what? And I overcome my fear, but by stepping out myself, and I had to do that, and then just facing my fears in my face, and things that, and the thing that scared me, like in the medical side of the military, I had no control. And I finally found, like, all that time really young, like 14, 15, I finally found my family. And I was at home, had my family, and it was on the cards, I'm going to lose all that. I was like, no, this over here. I'm really good at my job. I'm topping this, I'm topping that. I'm in the shooting team. I'm going here. I've got a career plan. And it was just stripped out from underneath me. I don't think I've ever really got over that. But I've still managed to mold it into something. Yes, you can still do stuff after. I still managed to become a paramedic in Australia. I was a paramedic in Africa. I was a firefighter. Mines Rescue World Championships, the Mines Rescue Australian. So I still managed to, whatever I did, to the top of everything I did.
Hey, what's the best lesson that Africa taught you?
Number one, life is freaking fragile and cheap. Like life, and I know the stuff I've been through, like medically and also trauma-wise, but life in Africa is virtually valueless. Like the amount of like stuff that goes on over there in regards to people dying and killing each other and death is it's ridiculous. And it took me a couple of years when I came back to realize the effect that has on you. Being it's fun, you run around with a gun, you're doing fun stuff, you're chasing poachers, chasing bad guys, rescuing people. This is really cool. And then you come back and you think it's all good, and then a couple of things happen. You're like, it's just not good. I need to get some of that out of my system. And every now and again, things shall pop up. Someone the other day mentioned something, and I turned around and seen the plastic bag. I was like, oh, we used to have clear plastic bags like that. I remember one day there's a kid in there with a gunshot head. Oh, hang on a sec. Well, I don't want to think about that. And it was something that just popped into my brain that things pop up like, yeah, that's good. I don't need to think about that. That's a memory, but that's a memory I don't want to worry about, But but I got a lot out of it, like experience-wise, to all the stuff I went through and what I did. I mean, by the time I left it, I was catching elephants for a living for conservation, putting collars on them to track them, microchipping rhino horns, relocating lion, walk around in the bush out there, clean skin, no weapon, doing survival courses in Big Five country because you know the rules and the systems there. You know how nature works properly. You know you're not going to get taken. You know generally where the lions are. You know where the elephant. You know not to approach a certain animal. How do you know where the lions are? Certain lions have home. They have like an area where they work, like their home area, and it's all mapped out. They know where each pride is and what the pride is made up of. So you know when they've got to kill, where they are, what area they're in. I remember doing a walk one day and we pulled up and we went, oh, hey guys, we're pretty cool here. The pride's just got a couple of buffaloes. They're all fat and lazy. The cubs are sleeping. There's a big herd of elephants just to our right, but that's a breeding herd. But they're fat, they're good, they're chilled. We can just stand there and chill and get some photographs. And I'll chill and look at the people behind us and they were shitting themselves. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my God, there's like 15 lion over there. Like 200 kilo cats that have just killed 1,000 kilo buffalo. There's 50 wild elephant there. And I'm saying it's all cool. But then you realize it's like, wow, it is cool because you understand it. You know what the rules are. If you could design one exercise that everybody had to do each morning, what would it be? A physical or mental or a bit of both? Either or. Obviously doing some kind of workout or movement, get out a bit of moving because a lot of people don't move. A lot of people jobs a lot of this. I'll shove my head in. Well, that's my philosophy, 26 minutes every day. That's it. Get out, move, just move. Move, but then also whether you speak it out loud or in your mind, positive. Soon as someone says, one thing if someone says what you hate on the planet, apart from humanity, is negative word and negative comment and negative something. So no. Turn it around, make it positive. Like I said before, yeah, your house is on fire, but get a new house. You can design a whole new house. Yep. Don't go negative and I won't delve into it. I won't do it. And as soon as people bring it to here, I get into lead. I just say, guys, thank you very much. Even on the veteran side, I've had veterans here that I've had issues with, and I've had to actually ask them to leave. Because they've gone down the path of, oh, poor me. No, not poor me. No. Step up, be positive. Don't bring negative stuff here. No matter, you want to argue, go and pick a tree and argue with the tree. You want to fight, I'll get somebody mates to fight. They'll just sort that out for you. But don't bring negative stuff here. So I make sure every day, as soon as someone starts with a positive comment, you got a positive conversation, excellent. Ask negative, cool, take it somewhere else. Yeah. And I just won't do it. I just say, you know what? If I could delete one thing out of my life, the rest of it, negative. Anything negative, get rid of it. Whether it's a negative person, a comment, conversation, or situation, love it. What's the funniest thing you've ever seen? The funniest thing? I've seen a lot of funny things. I've seen one where it was funny on me. We're at the camp in Africa, and the ladies working at the camp, they live like in a village about 3 or 4 k's away. And they just walked out, but it was dark, so we were a bit worried. I said, I'll walk here, it's all good. And they were like, oh, Ray, here's the guy, he'll be fine, we'll be fine. And I remember walking down the track, and it's like a track with African books. Big 5, everyone's out there, little torch. And of all things, they come up because of freaking honey badger. You know what a honey badger is? No. It's 900% attitude. They're not very big, but seriously, we come in this corner, there's this log with this thing on it. I'm thinking, what's that? and there's this honey badger. And the girls are looking at me like, Ray can walk up fun, he'll get rid of the lions and the elephants. There's honey badgers, you turn around and looks at it, and you just, I'm like, okay, we're taking the car. And we went back and forth the car, and all these girls are laughing. Like, what are you laughing at? I was like, I think it's got attitude. Like, I've never seen them with so much attitude with it. And I've seen them fight lions and win. So we're taking the car. And then all the girls are laughing at me. Oh, you're scared about it, bro. See the honey badger. You go and grab his tail. You go and take it down and see what happens.
What's your greatest fear, Ray?
My greatest fear for me would be having to see my kids or someone I love go through something stupid I let you go through. Whether that's physical or medical or whatever. I remember when we finally went to see the doctor, and I said to the doctor, when she said, like, yeah, it's coming, it's cancer. I went, thank God for that. She's like, beg your pardon? None of these are not hers, not them, none of them are. I'm going to sit here and watch that? No. Take it, I'll take the hit. But the biggest fear is having one of them to have to go through one of those things that I went through. Luckily, so touch wood, they're all healthy and fit. And that's why they're all doing gymnastics, they're all playing outside, they're all going fishing, they're doing stuff, they're shooting, they're doing real stuff. And I was going to give as much as I can over to them to help them get through that, but hopefully not have to go through that. That would be my biggest fear for them to get that. And I work with Canteen, I do a program for Canteen every year. And I remember last time they came out, I had cancer. I'm up on the deck over there, and I said to them, hey guys, I just want to let you know, it's so good to have you guys back, and I enjoy working with you so much. I've actually joined your team, and I had chemo at 8 o'clock this morning, so I'm going to have a nap because I'm feeling a bit shit. And when I woke up, there was kids brushing my hair, holding my hand. I'm going, my God, kids with cancer have still got empathy for someone else. And the fact that what they're doing, the treatment is for freaking great. Yeah. But yeah, to see that, definitely that.
Yeah, no, my partner went through chemo. It's absolutely awful. What's the most powerful word in the English language for you?
Other words. So we might for thing right on.
You'll pass on that one if you like. So if you could leave one legacy throughout your life, what would it be?
That people remember me as being positive, ethically sound and honest, and wanting to help people and give. I always say to people, God, if I won the massive big lottery, I'd end up giving it all away, but in a way that it helps people. Because it wouldn't be about money, but I can get that, and I could help people do that. I could help people do that. And giving something to someone. And I remember when I got cancer, I made several phone calls with some people. And I sat there, and I remember I was in here, and I had one night where I just went with cancer, and a bottle of whiskey got smashed. Went right, and I was pissed off that I had cancer. I was like, come on. I just went through a brain aneurysm for 2 years. I'm straight into cancer. But I rang certain people that in my life, I went, you were positiveness in my life. And one example is a guy named John Michelin. And I went for a job interview, and I was working in a factory. I was working at Wiley Shop Absorb, mate, covenant all every day, conveyor belt factory production line there. And I hated it. I wanted to be outside. Went for the job interview, borrowed a car, broke down on the way, ran 10 kilometers, walked up 30 minutes late, soaking wet. He goes, "Nut, you're late, piss off." Like, oh, you got me wet. I ran it. From where? Ranella. It was 10 kilometers away. Yeah, car broke down. Come in Saturday, give you a trial. Did well on the trial, got the job working for years. He was a hard pass faster, but he taught me ethics, integrity, and hard work and what it's worth. He bought me for my 80th birthday a car. $3,500 car in 1986, 85. So that's like a $30,000 car. And I remember when I got in the army, and I thought, I've got to tell him I'm leaving. And I was gutted because he meant so much to me. But I said, he's going to be happy to get his car back. And I said, oh, John, look, I've applied for, I've got in the army, but you can get your car back. And he went, you freaking idiot. Why do I want the car back? Keep it, sell it, do what you want. Well done. You're going to make a good soldier. And I rang him and said to him that you were a positive influence, and I've used some elements that you taught me to my life to this day. And there was 3 or 4 people who rang up, and it was like an 80-year-old man was crying, mate. What a great story. But I'm like, but you did. I still remember what you did for me when I was 15, 16. You bought me a freaking car. No one bought me anything by the time of my life. You bought me a car, and when there was no work, you got me working at home, washing his car, cleaning his house, so I still get paid. And I look at it, if I can be that person to someone or people in this world, it's like, you're doing like me. Yeah, that's more valuable than going, I mean, I've walked away from several businesses. Mine a few years ago, I was part of an organisation, and I'm getting millions of dollars. People are going, but you're sorry you left now. It's like, no, not at all. I'm still happy with who I am, and seeing what they've done and what they're doing. I went, yeah, I'm definitely happy. Money does not make you a real person. You know, and I left because I knew what they were up to, and I just went, I can't be part of that. I don't know, part of that. And we went, oh, they got cover me in all this. Don't care. Not interested, don't care. I'm fine. I'm fine doing what I'm doing here. I'll get more out of seeing a family here, have a great day, come up to me after and shake my hand than doing that. Much better. It's if you could get the value of that and somehow share it to people, the world would be a better place. But, you know, get rid of that freaking everyone's chasing the money. I mean, you got to make money to live, but you can't do all that though. Be part. I couldn't agree more, mate. Final question. Finish this sentence. I believe we have the ability, everyone has the ability to be a good person and to be like ethically sound, and that everyone has the ability. And I believe I don't know if I believe there's a possibility that if more people were like that, the world would be a shit better place, a better place for starters. But I believe we do have the ability, but I think humanity's got to go through a lot more yet. Like, we've got to look into ourselves, get rid of a lot of belief systems and the prioritising of power and money and all that. Yes, get back in nature. Nature and back to, like I call the program called Back to Basics. We're going to take you back to basics. You're going to start with nothing. And when I started this program Back to Basics in Africa, in one day, you make weight, make a cup, make fire, dye a shirt, collect water, and like all in a day. And everyone have a full day, you know, with a cup, a bit of string, a clay pot that you made, a t-shirt that you've dyed, toothbrush and toothpaste, and you make fire. And that was, some people said, the best day of their life. And that's pretty freaking basic, you know?
It is, but that's an awesome achievement for a lot of people.
Oh, it is. They've never done nothing. They go to Coles and buy it. I'll buy it from Coles, order online. No, but they made a toothbrush, made toothpaste, made a rope, made fire, found water, take your water, got water, sustain themselves, made a cam. You know, that. And that's why I like to do what I do. You say, die. And when I say one quick thing I'll tell you, when I get corporate groups, we do the survival thing, and they go through the whole, and you get different groups, and you either some groups you work at the end of the day, you're like, oh God, just leave because they're a pain in the ass, and others are good and fun. And what I found, I'd tell all the groups of them, what guys, you figured out today in this environment, in your survival situation, you needed water, shelter, food and fire, and then you work around them and you're going to sustain yourself and live. What I want from you in your life, your organisation, as individual people, go and write me down in 30 seconds those 4 things in your business. A team that works really well together, has a lot of fun, they all write down the same thing. You have a team that's a pain in the ass, and there's, you know, like, my God, there's 100 different elements here. You guys maybe need to look at this and all get on the same page. And that's just going back to the facial side of like, guys, it's nature. It's all you need. It's all you need. You could live forever until you die on that. You don't need all this other shit. Okay? And they do. They walk away and they go, that's extremely interesting. And they've gone back and said, we need to now figure out what those 4 things are so we're on the same page. You then realize they're all on different pages that you can tell when you work at a debate. They're arguing, they're stealing, all sorts of shit. So,
what a great way to finish, Nate. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love your energy. I love what you're doing. You've gone through hell and back, and you come out the other side. The attitude is commendable. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Always. You've got to be positive, more positive.
Thanks for tuning in to the M26 Fit podcast. Remember, real growth happens one step at a time, and consistently working both on your mind and your body for 26 minutes every day will change your life. Hit subscribe to keep the inspiration going, and don't forget to share this episode with somebody who needs that extra boost. Until next time, stay connected and stay active.